Hey guys, it's Coco and I officially qualified for the WTA finals. I'm super happy to be back in Riyadh again. I hope to see you guys there. So be sure to get your tickets at webook.com. Bye.
First, I would like to thank God for always keeping me covered. I was going through a lot of things when I lost in this final 3 years ago. I'm just
2 questions, one silly. Would you go on Love Island ever?
Honestly, if I was single, then yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Coco Gauff defies logic and beats Kalinskaya, the ultimate glitch in the Matrix. Stop whatever you are doing right now, because what you are about to hear is going to make your brain short-circuit. If you needed a flashing neon sign that the fundamental laws of tennis mathematics are completely and utterly broken, you just got it in the most dramatic fashion possible. And the craziest part about all of this? The warning didn't come from a dramatic post-match press conference. It didn't come from a Tennis Insider's late-night tweet. And it certainly didn't come from those polished commentators sitting comfortably in their television studios pretending they understand what they are watching. It came straight from the raw, unfiltered, cold-blooded stat sheet. And folks, that stat sheet is telling a story that the mainstream sports media is absolutely desperate to ignore right now. Coco Gauff, the undisputed face of American tennis and one of the most powerful and influential athletes in the entire sporting world, has just pulled off a victory at the 2026 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships that screams one single, solitary word: panic. Not from Coco, from every single player sitting in that locker room watching this unfold. We have the confirmed numbers right here, and Coco just swept Russia's Anna Kalinskaya in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, exacting cold-blooded, calculated revenge for a bitter defeat on these exact same courts 2 years ago. Revenge served scorching hot in the Dubai desert sun. Now, if you are a casual fan scrolling through your feed right now, you might be leaning back thinking, so what? Coco Gauff beats people all the time. She is a Grand Slam champion. She just won Wuhan and Roland Garros last year. She is literally one of the best players on the planet. That is just business as usual. And I understand that reaction completely. But you have to look deeper. The devil is always in the details. You have to look at the service stats, because when you connect the dots that everyone else is conveniently glossing over right now, a terrifying picture starts to emerge from the numbers. A picture that is equal parts stunning, equal parts baffling, and 100% the story of the 2026 WTA season so far. Here is the headline truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Coco Gauff's straight-set victory is simultaneously a massive, blaring siren that her serve is in absolute crisis, and the most convincing proof we have ever seen that her mental game is so terrifyingly strong. She literally broke the entire mathematical system of this sport. Welcome back to Chatterbox, the channel where we read between the lines, dig into the numbers, and tell you the real story. Today, we are breaking down why hitting 12 double faults didn't sink her, why Kalinskaya's unbelievable 88% first serve stat was completely and utterly useless, and why we might be staring down the barrel of the most dangerous, most unkillable version of Coco Gauff we have ever witnessed in our lives. Buckle up, because we are getting right into it. Let us start with the grand illusion, because this is where everything begins to unravel in the most spectacular fashion. Let us look at the exact stats, because when you first glance at this sheet, your brain almost glitches out completely. Let us start with Anna Kalinskaya's serving performance, because on paper it looks absolutely immaculate. If I told you that a professional tennis player on the WTA Tour landed 88% of her first serves in a match, you would confidently tell me that she won that match effortlessly. 88%. Let that number sit with you for a moment, because context is everything here. If a player is serving at 65% first serves in, they are having a fantastic day by professional standards. If they are hitting 75%, they are practically unplayable, a machine that opponents dread facing. 88% is not human. 88% is cyborg accuracy. It means that almost every single time Anna Kalinskaya stepped up to that baseline in the Dubai sunshine, she put the ball in the service box on the very first attempt. From a purely geographical standpoint, her serve was practically perfect. The mainstream media looks at that number and immediately writes the narrative. They praise her consistency. They talk about her finding her rhythm. They completely ignore what actually happened in this match. They are missing the forest for the trees in the most spectacular way imaginable. Because you have to look at the very next line down on that stat sheet, the first serve win percentage. Kalinskaya landed 88% of her serves, and she only won 46% of those points. Read that sentence again, because it is the entire key to unlocking this bizarre, logic-defying match. And the wider context here makes this conversation even more uncomfortable and even more fascinating simultaneously. This is not a new problem that suddenly appeared in Dubai. Coco Gauff led the entire WTA Tour in double faults in 2024, with a staggering 430 of them across the season. Then she went ahead and did it again in 2025, this time racking up 431 double faults to lead the tour for the second consecutive year. This is a documented, persistent, deeply rooted mechanical issue that has been following her around like a shadow for years now. She recognized it herself, which is why she brought in Gavin McMillan, a renowned biomechanics specialist who previously worked what many considered to be genuine miracles with Aryna Sabalenka's serving mechanics, specifically and deliberately to address this chronic problem. Yet here we are in Dubai in 2026, and in just 4 matches at this single tournament, she has already accumulated an unbelievable 48 double faults. The ghost has not been exorcised. It is still very much haunting the service line. She is telling the tennis world one of 2 very different things with this pattern, and neither option is particularly comfortable for her opponents. Either her mechanics are genuinely shattered right now and she is in the middle of an ongoing technical crisis that her coaching team is desperately scrambling to fix, or she simply does not care anymore, because somewhere deep in her competitive mind, she has reached the conclusion that her baseline game is so absolutely untouchable that she can absorb the damage and still come out on top. Both possibilities are equally terrifying for the rest of the WTA Tour, just for entirely different reasons. Now just imagine for a second the devastating, soul-crushing psychological message this sends to the other players in the locker room. Picture yourself as a top-tier professional who is genuinely terrified of drawing Coco Gauff in the next round. You are desperately searching for hope. You are scanning every recent match, looking for any crack in the armor, any weakness you can exploit, any reason to believe you have a legitimate chance. And instead of finding that reassurance, you watch her hand Anna Kalinskaya 12 silver platter.
Much more after
Line serving performance in notoriously tricky windy
have the
conditions,
honor
and still
wearing
brutally
this jacket
dispatch a highly ranked professional opponent 6'4", without ever looking genuinely threatened. The message that sends through the locker room is not subtle. It practically screams, I can play my absolute worst tennis. I can gift you free points by the dozen. I can malfunction on the service line all afternoon long. And I will still pack your bags and send you to the airport on time. That kind of performance does not just win a match. It psychologically dismantles the entire competitive field before they have even set foot on the court against her. But here is the part where this match truly transcends ordinary sports analysis and enters the territory of something genuinely extraordinary. This is the statistic that stopped us cold when we first saw it. This is the single most insane number on this entire stat sheet. The number that completely and spectacularly defies human psychology and conventional sports logic in equal measure. Are you ready for this? Because if you double fault 12 times in a professional tennis match, every piece of conventional wisdom in this sport says the same thing. It says your second serve win percentage is going to be buried somewhere in the absolute gutter, probably hovering around 35 or 40% at best. Because when you are terrified of missing again, you do not hit your second serve with aggression and confidence. You tap it over the net softly, you push it into play, you beg it to just land somewhere legal, and then you pray that your opponent does not destroy you with the return. The WTA Tour average for winning second serve points in competitive match play sits roughly between 40 first serve repeatedly. Yes, she double faulted 12 times and handed over a stack of free points. But on the second serves that she actually managed to land legally in the service box, she won 80% of the resulting points. This is the paradox. This is precisely where Coco Gauff breaks the mathematics of professional tennis in a way that no analytical model quite knows how to account for. She did not let the double faults destroy her confidence or her swagger on the very next serve. She refused to retreat into defensive, fearful serving. Now, in the interest of giving a fully rounded and honest analysis, We have to play devil's advocate here for a moment, because there is a very real and very legitimate argument to be made on the other side of this conversation. There is a genuine possibility that this is a terrifyingly dangerous game of chicken that Coco and her coaching team are playing with the rest of the tour. Perhaps they are deliberately projecting this image of raw, unpolished power. Perhaps the message they want to send is that she does not need a perfect serve to advance through tournaments. Perhaps they are using these early season events to experiment with mechanics under genuine match pressure while still finding ways to win, calculating that the upside of fixing the serve properly outweighs the risk of early losses in February. Perhaps the shrug-and-win approach is actually a sophisticated, calculated strategy rather than a sign of dysfunction. But that is a genuinely and undeniably dangerous narrative to lean on as the year progresses toward the major championships. Because elite, battle-hardened players like Iga Swiatek, Aryna Sabalenka, and Elena Rybakina do not respond to weak serving days the way Kalinskaya did. They do not get psychologically rattled by the score staying close. They do not tighten up on break points. They respond to vulnerability by executing with blistering, aggressive baseline winners and turning every single second serve into a short ball they can attack relentlessly. The cold, hard competitive logic of professional tennis dictates that Coco absolutely must get these serving mechanics properly fixed if her genuine ambition is to hoist another Grand Slam trophy before this year is finished. If she walks onto the court in a major final and double faults 12 times against Sabalenka or Swiatek, she is not winning that match on mental fortitude and breakpoint conversion alone. She would be practically hand-delivering the trophy across the net with a bow on top. The stakes get even higher when you zoom out and look at the full calendar that lies ahead. Roland Garros, where she is the defending champion, arrives in late May. Wimbledon follows in June and July, where the grass surface amplifies every serving weakness to an almost unmanageable degree. The US Open in New York in August and September, where the home crowd expectations will be at their absolute peak. Every single one of those tournaments represents a moment where the serve must be a weapon, not a liability, if she genuinely wants to compete for the title rather than just reach the quarterfinals and lose. And the context of her season so far makes this conversation even more urgent and more nuanced. Just 1 week before this Dubai victory, Coco suffered a genuinely shocking early exit in Doha, falling to Elisabetta Cacciaretto in a result that sent alarm bells ringing across the tennis world. That kind of result, losing early to a player ranked significantly lower, is precisely the kind of performance that would have the tennis media writing serious questions about her form heading into the season's biggest events. Dubai was supposed to be a response statement, and she delivered one, but the manner of the victory leaves the fundamental question completely unresolved. The coaching team around her is clearly aware of all of this. The decision to bring in Gavin McMillan was not made casually or randomly. It was a deliberate, targeted investment in solving a problem that has been consistently undermining her statistical dominance for multiple seasons now. McMillan's work with Sabalenka is widely considered one of the most successful technical interventions in recent WTA history, transforming the Belarusian serve from a liability into one of the most feared weapons on the tour. The expectation, the hope, and frankly the necessity is that he can replicate something similar for Coco. The raw material is absolutely there. The athleticism, the explosiveness, the ball-striking ability, the court vision, and the competitive mentality are all elite-level attributes. The mechanical execution under pressure is the single piece of the puzzle that has not yet clicked into place consistently, and until it does, every match carries an unnecessary level of risk that a player of Coco's caliber simply should not have to deal with. But here is the truth that we have to sit with after watching this particular match unfold from start to finish in Dubai. Today was always going to be a story about priorities and mental fortitude above anything else. Does Coco Gauff panic when her mechanics are failing her, when the double faults are stacking up, when her own serve is actively working against her? Or does she lock in, prioritize finding a competitive path to winning the match, and execute on the things she can actually control in the moment? The real test is coming. The calendar does not stop for technical work or gradual improvement curves. The majors will arrive on schedule whether the serve is fixed or not, and the players waiting at the business end of those draws will not be as accommodating as Anna Kalinskaya was in letting Coco dictate terms from the baseline. But for now, in the Dubai desert in February of 2026, the reigning Roland Garros champion has delivered her message to the tour with absolute